Welcome to the general public that's in attendance. We're gonna not open the meeting yet. We have it scheduled at 6:10. We are going to go ahead and start with the recognitions of our student athletes that we have here present. So we'll jump right into that. Mr. Gonzalez, we have several individuals that we're recognizing today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It's the time of the month we start recognizing our scholars, our athletes, fine arts. And this evening we do have one of our football teams who made it far in our state playoffs, as well as AP scholars will be recognized this evening. Mr. Rosales will go first.
Good evening, parents, teachers, students, and community members. It is with great pride that we would like to acknowledge the United ISD scholars, AP scholars, that have contributed to their campus scores tonight. These students have excelled in their studies while enrolled in our high schools, and they truly exemplify scholarship and academic excellence. These students have taken the College Board's advanced placement exams, rigorous college-level content-specific assessments which various colleges and universities consider in awarding college credit or advanced placement. An advanced placement student may earn one of the following 4 distinctions: the designation of AP Scholar by having received grades of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams, the distinction of AP Scholar with honor by earning an average grade of at least 3.25 on all AP exams taken and grades of 3 or higher on 4 or more of these exams, and the designation of AP Scholar with distinction by earning an average grade of 3.5 on all AP exams taken and grades of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams. I now present to you from United South High School the AP Scholars, Damaris A. Ortega Vital and Jesus Salazar Puente. Ms. Ariana Ramirez, Principal, and her staff. Congratulations.
Vamos a mover la mesa un poquito porque por aquí van a salir los muchachos.
Congratulations to the scholars from United South High School. I now present the scholars from LBJ. We have an AP Scholar with distinction, Joanna Luna. And the 2 AP Scholars, Jorge Canal Cázares and Ana Moreno. Mr. Armando Salazar, Principal, and Mr. McHugh, Assistant Principal in charge of the AP program. Congratulations to the scholars from LBJ High School. We now have the 42 AP scholars from Alexander High School, but I'm only going to call the ones that are here today. We have Matthew Chen with an AP scholar. Elric Dominguez. Melissa Garcia. Alejandra Vasquez, Elizabeth Wickstrom, Luis Almanza, we have Joshua Shun, so Luis Almanza and Joshua Schwan were AP Scholars with distinction. And now we have the AP Scholars with honor. We have Jorge Guajardo, and Daniela Medina. Congratulations, Ms. Jessica Salazar, Principal, and her staff. Oh, I'm sorry, Ernesto Sandoval, Principal, and his staff.
Everybody needs to move back.
Yeah, they're gonna go on the bleachers, right?
Well, they can do that if they want. I said midway would do it, but if you want to get on the bleachers, that's fine. Should we instruct them? There we go. I'm sorry, I'm hustling in your...
No, it's all right.
It's the only way to get the picture.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
Congratulations to Mr. Sandoval and his staff. We now have the 72 AP Scholars from United High School, and I will only call out the ones that are here. Starting with the AP Scholars, Paul Raymond Vitron, Jimena Contreras, Diego A. Garcia, Christian Garza, Ángel Nolasco, Andrew Rao, Catherine Rodriguez, Nicolás Salcedo, I'm sorry, Camila Treviño, Emiliano Valadez, and Juan Villarreal. We now have the AP Scholars with distinction, Ivan Argandona, Ethan Coroma, also a semi-finalist in the National Merit Program, Sean Oliver Lapping, and now the AP Scholars with honor, Pedro Garza III, Fernanda Gonzalez. Kaylee Perez. And Angela Morales. And we have Principal Jessica Salazar and her staff. Congratulations, United High School.
United.
So again, congratulations to the 73 AP scholars from United High School. Again, congratulations to our 120 AP scholars from United ISD and their parents. Thank you.
You were like, yes, sir.
Good evening, Superintendent Gonzalez, members of the board, and members of our audience. It's with great pride tonight that we recognize the efforts of an outstanding team. Not only this year, which was a great historical run for our school, but over the past 4 years, this team and this program has truly excelled. It is with great pride that we recognize the United South Panther football program for their excellence over the past 4 years. 4 consecutive playoff appearances, 2 undefeated outright district titles, 2 back-to-back by-district and area football titles, and 2 regional semifinal appearances, culminating this past year until we finally bowed out to a strong Lake Travis team. For their efforts, we recognize them tonight, and very proud of our Panthers. Congratulations, United South High School. Proud Principal, Ms. Adriana Ramirez and her staff. Proud Head Coach, Joe Koss and his staff. Coach Joe Koss, where you at? In addition, I would also like to recognize Coach Joe Koss for being named as District 36A Coach of the Year this year. as we get settled in for our picture. Equally as important, I'd like to ask our assistant coaches to raise their hands to be recognized as well, all assistant coaches. And equally important, our athletic trainers, Coach Mr. Valverde. And last but not least, very, very important in keeping our Panthers healthy and on the field, the ladies that you see back there, our student athletic trainers. Please, ladies, raise your hand. All of these people are just as important, and their efforts go into these championships. Congratulations again, United South Panthers.
Do you want to get them right now?
What background? I mean, that's the only thing that looks like a background there. We can't really.
Ah, sí, ¿verdad? Sí, el que está bien chiquito. He's over here. He's good. Yes, promise. I won't be lying. Those are
right, so we're all set. Good evening, fellow board members, Mr. Gonzalez and district staff. The time is now 6:21 p.m. on this, the 16th day of December 2021, and I call this meeting of the United Independent School District Board of Trustees to order. If I can have each board member present recite their name for the record.
Ricardo Rick Rodriguez, present.
Elisa Flores Oliveros, present.
Frank Castillo, present.
Juan Roberto Ramirez, present.
Ricardo Molina, present. Javier Montemayor, present. And myself, Ramiro Vélez, the third present. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Agenda item 3, Pledge of Allegiance. If I can have everybody please stand up, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I honor the Texas
one and one. All right, so we went through agenda item 5, which was recognitions. We'll move on to public comments. I have 5 public comments submitted. I don't know, do we have any more, Mr. Gonzalez?
No, sir.
All
Just
right.
those 5.
All right, so in no particular order, I'll call the individuals to come to the podium, and they will have 3 minutes to comment on an item that is on the agenda or related to. Mr. Jose Obando.
There is one more added, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Joel Vando, and I'm here to talk about the possible action to retain and enter into legal services contract with the General Legal Counsel. Just recently, we also had a conversation about this at a town hall meeting. That fiasco ended with the board member sending a letter to one of the parties who complained, or one of the taxpayers who complained at that meeting. He sent a letter to the employer of this person, and I'm just wondering if this is going to be what should be expecting at the future, that if you don't like our speech, the content of our speech, that we should be expecting retaliation from you? Is this what we should be expecting? Because it was sent from with UISD letterhead, it's my understanding. So I would understand that it is in agreement with all the board, with the superintendent's approval, and probably even with the ill advice of the attorney to do so. I hope this is not something that is concurrent and is going to be happening in the future, and I hope that you strongly admonish the person, the board member who did this, unless of course you're in agreement with that. Not only happy with that, I was real surprised that the board member took the position to defend the attorney at that moment by claiming something about due process. Probably doesn't even have the minimal understanding between substantive and procedural due process, but in his legal investitude, he decided, I'll just make an idiot of myself and throw due process in there. No, negative. My child have rights. It's not due process. He doesn't have no due process. It's my child's rights first. If someone comes in here screaming and yelling, it's not freedom of speech. First, it's my children's speech, my children's rights, then somebody else's rights. It is first my children. That's why you were at the board. Maybe you don't have kids and you don't care. I have kids and I do care. To finalize this, let me remind you that all those dark voices that come and speak to you in the dark and tell you to retain the services of this person, they're not here today. I'm here. I'm here in the open, in public, speaking for my children. But those that speak on behalf of this person, are they here? They don't want their name attached to that. Have you seen the pictures? I'm happy to share them with you because it's public information. You can just go down to the court and request them. Have you seen the texts? I can share them with you if you want, because they're public information if you want to see them, or I can get them for you. But you don't have if you don't have no children, you probably don't care. If you had children, would it be different? I'm asking that you take a vote today to remove this person from here. Thank you.
I'm not allowed to respond.
May I answer or not answer?
No, sir, I'm gonna ask for you to just keep to your comments. If you want to comment, ma'am, please sign up. You still have time. Mr. Obando, you wanna continue? You have about 30 seconds, or?
I just hope that you have this vote in open, so everybody knows where you stand on this position. And on that board member, please take serious note of that. You should be admonishing that board member, unless, of course, you're backing him up on what he did. That's just wrong. Thank you.
Mr. Obando, thank you for your comments.
Thank you, Mr. Obando.
Next will be Mr. Victor M. Vasquez. Good evening, Mr. Vasquez. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Victor Vasquez. I'm going to talk about the same subject, and I think it's time to move forward. I expect him to do what is correct for us and move forward, put this all behind us. We need to go. Thank you.
Mr. Vasquez, appreciate your comments. We have, I believe it's Ms. Aurora Banda. Not sure if that's correct. Yes. You want to clarify your name? I'm not sure if I read it correctly.
No, Barrios, Aurora Barrios, sir.
I'm sorry, I
that's
didn't
okay.
understand here. All right, 6:28, ma'am, you have 3 minutes, Ms. Barrios.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Gonzalez, Superintendent, and the board members. My name is Aurora Barrios. I'm a substitute teacher. For the last 3 years, I've been working with the district, and we haven't had any increase. And on September the 30th, I sent an email to Mr. Montemayor asking the possibility to get an increase in our salary. However, Mr. Montemayor never replied to my email. Then later we decided to write a letter of petition, sign a petition from all my other staffs or other staff working on the district. I sent it on November the 1st, and again, Mr. Montemayor never addressed our concern. Then I refer with Ms. Gutierrez. She's the one in charge of the staff. She commented that we cannot get an increase or we cannot get the stipend, the one that we're receiving right now of employees because we're part-timers. But according to the law, part-time is considered 20 hours. And on September the 20th through October the 15th, I was covering a vacancy, it was 20 days, translate to an hours, that's 160 hours. So how we're considered part-time when sometimes we cover a vacancy for a month. In addition, the cost of living has increased 5%, starting with gas. On national average, the gas is, for November from last year, it was $2.20 a gallon. And now this year, November 2021, is $3.49. That's also $1.20 now increase. However, our salary remains the same. As a substitute teacher for non-priority campus, we're getting $80 an hour a day, which is now you have a system that you're tracking our hours. So if we're counting by hour, that's $10 an hour. If we're serving priority campus, which is the South, it's $95 a day. That will be $11.87 an hour. Consider the minimum wage, which is $7.25, we only get it to $2.75. I received an email that the district received a grant for the Biden administration for $127 million, and we were not considered for any payment or any stipend. My question is why we cannot get an increase. I was referring with Mr. Montemayor because Ms. Gutierrez said he was the acting president. And now I saw on the website that you, Mr. Velez, you are the president. And I checked that you have like a term for like 1 or 2 years. So I was not aware that now you are the president. So my question is, well, not my question. We're requesting $20 increase from a salary. We don't want the one payment or the stipend that all employees receive. We're requesting $20 because I think it's fair. What we do, we're covering a teacher, we're acting as a teacher, and some of us, we have a degree, we have an associate, we have a bachelor, and yet we don't get the respect from the students because they use most of them profane language, which is very sadly. But we stay working with the district because we like it. I love my work. I enjoy what I do. Therefore, I'm asking you consider an increase for all the staff, regardless of the time, 1 month, 2 months. I think we deserve at least $20 an increase for our salary. That will be all. Thank you, sir.
You want to sign up? Go ahead. There's still time. Thank you, Ms. Vargas.
Thank you.
There's still time. We're still doing them. Mr. René de la Viña. Time is 6:32, sir. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, honorable board members, Superintendent Gonzalez, for the record, René de la Viña, TSCA President. First, I would like to thank you on behalf of TSCA. Thank you very much for that big bonus that you gave all the employees. We're very appreciative. Thank you so much. I'm here also to ask for your support for item number 7G, which is public comments, where public comments don't have to be agenda related anymore. Ms. Oliveros, thank you for jumping on it, and Mr. Montemayor, Mr. Villis, I appreciate it, and everybody else, thank you very much. I think it's a good idea because when I was a board member at the college for 12 years, we did not, we could let anybody say what they wanted. But we did have a policy, and you can do it here, where if anybody becomes disrespectful toward a board member, you can have them escorted out the first time, second time, you ban them permanently from the board meeting. That's it, simple. And we did that at college, it worked real good. LISD has it, the city of Laredo has it, Webb County has that. So, you got nothing to worry about. I mean, just do what you have to do. You have your police here, so not a problem. So having said that, I think it's good. I think it's transparency. That's what you want. And, we're here to support you. I've always told you you're a good board. I believe in the 42 years that I've been saying this, I've never, ever, myself, speaking for myself, ever been disrespectful toward a board member. I always attack the issues, not the person. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, and God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. de la Viña. Mrs. Claudia Denesi Garcia. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
You have 3 minutes. Time is 6:34.
Thank you. My name is Claudia Lanese Garcia, and I am speaking here today in defense of Mr. Juan Cruz. Not because he asked me to, and not because I am obligated to. I'm doing so simply because it is the right thing to do. I am a mother of 2 former UISD students. I am an attorney, and I am a friend of Juan Cruz for over 30 years since we were students at Nixon High School. I cannot sit at home anymore knowing that strangers continue to slander and malign Mr. Cruz in this forum without any support from this UISD board or administration, his client of 20 years. Let me remind you who Mr. Juan Cruz is. He is an expert in school law. Professionally, he is accomplished, ambitious, generous to all of his employees and their families, and above all, Juan Cruz is loyal. On a personal level, Mr. Cruz is godfather to 10 of our friends' children. He is a devoted son, a cherished brother, an exemplary uncle, and the best and most selfless friend to all who are close to him. Mr. Cruz and I graduated from law school at the same time, but I never had the laser focus he did to build a law firm from the ground up. I remember clearly the day he received an offer to work at a school law firm in San Antonio. He'd go in at 5 a.m. in the morning, and every day he was always the last one to leave. He was never satisfied to just do the assignments given to him. Instead, he became an expert in school law, having authored at least 9 published legal articles since 1998, and he has been a featured lecturer at over 6 dozen legal seminars and courses in his career. He cultivated his own clients, UISD included, and he didn't settle to work the clients given to him or even poach the clients once he left his prior firm. As a personal accolade, he can boast that he is the first Hispanic to chair the school law section of the Texas State Bar. Under his unmatched expert legal counsel. UISD only has 3 lawsuits pending, a personal injury case and 2 employment disputes. Now compare that to other political subdivisions in our city that employ less persons than UISD. LISD also has 3 pending lawsuits. The city of Laredo, 34 pending lawsuits with half of UISD's population. And Webb County has 8 pending lawsuits with less than half the number of UISD employees. So what does this mean? It means that Mr. Cruz gave you solid legal advice that left no room for error or interpretation to convince any attorney that he might actually have a basis for a lawsuit against you. Sometimes, however, as in Mr. Cruz's case, a baseless and groundless case is filed, and the person sued, like Mr. Cruz, has no choice but to defend it. Due process. I say this with confidence. Mr. Cruz is falsely accused of a terrible crime, and he will prove that in court. But month after month, you have heard those baseless accusations repeated here that disparage, malign, and slander Mr. Cruz's stellar reputation. This lawsuit has nothing to do with his legal representation of UISD, but it was filed as a result of his representation of UISD. And each of you know what I'm talking about, except for Mr. Castillo. How do I know? Well, I was a parent of the subject group for which Mr. Cruz successfully defended dozens of complaints dating back to 2014 upon your instruction. Mr. Cruz won every single one of those dozens of matters that you instructed him to defend. Now, as Mr. Cruz himself has claimed in his own defense in court, it is that personal vendetta against him that is the driving force behind that lawsuit. The truth certainly is not. There is no criminal complaint against Mr. Cruz. There is no employment complaint against him either. Instead, there is a civil lawsuit requesting over $1 million of damages for accusations that have no merit. Back in October, Senior District Judge Susan Reed, who is presiding over Mr. Cruz's case, did comment in open court about the allegations made against Mr. Cruz.
Garcia, you're over the 3 minutes. I'm going to let you.
As a courtesy, not to me, Mr. President, but as a courtesy and in consideration of the 20 years of service to Mr. Cruz, I respectfully thank you for that.
You have 30 seconds. Go ahead.
If I can get just a minute more, and I'll be done. She said, and I quote, directed to the attorney who filed the lawsuit, "I think you are drafting those to, crucify the defendant before he's ever had his day in court publicly. I mean, that's what you've done. I mean, the pictures, all of that little stuff that's in there, that's ridiculous." And now, with UISD's potential termination of Mr. Cruz's legal services, you too are crucifying him without giving him, at the very least, the benefit of the doubt, much less the opportunity to defend himself. For 20 years, he has represented UISD with skill, expert knowledge, integrity, ethics, professionalism, and loyalty. And in return, you oust Mr. Cruz, the only expert in the field of school law in the city of Laredo, because two people, for the last 3 months, have repeated what Judge Reed called ridiculous.
Your time is up, Ms. Garcia. We appreciate your comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next individual is Pastor Jorge Tovar. Mr. Tovar, are you here?
Thank you.
Tovar?
Thank you
Okay.
very much for your time, board and superintendent and who's present here. I stand before you, and there's an item 7, letter F. Before I start my 3 minutes, could I have clarity on that? Is it a motion or a discussion and possible action?
Discussion and possible action.
It's on the
Yeah.
item for individual consideration, so there could be a motion and there could be a vote on it, depending on the motion, Mr. Tovar.
And this is to replace legal counsel, or what is it?
We would have to
Legal
wait
service-
until that item comes up, and then at that point, we would, you are more than welcome to stay,
Okay.
sir. But
Okay.
you want to comment on it?
Yes, I
Go ahead.
want to comment on that. For the record, my name is Jorge Tovar. I'm pastor of Jordan River Church, local church here in Laredo, Texas. It is my concern. We've been. When I say we, I say the local spiritual leaders from this city. We have been concerned of the LGBTQ ideology coming into our schools. So we've been fighting that for the last 2-3 years. And my concern today is that there are allegations of the attorney of UISD that have arose. So my question is, what are the procedures that you all take? I just heard a testimony that it's not proven. His day in court is still to come. We are not accusing or judging or condemning a person. The allegations that have been brought up are very serious, and that the Word of God in Romans 13 verse 1 says, "Everyone must submit to governing authorities, for all authorities comes from God, and those in position of authority have been placed there by God." So we believe as spiritual leaders that every one of you are there placed by God, every one of you. With a sole purpose of not doing the right thing, but doing the righteous thing according to God's word. So anything that you do will reflect on your reputation. So anything that the school board does reflects on the reputation of UISD, the school district. So there is a concern of the allegations is concerned. So we are asking you to do what is common to do, what you have practiced in the past to do. If it can be held or tabled as to renew the contract until those allegations are passed and are left behind. And if it's come clean, I mean, you proceed with however you need to do. But the concern is that the reputation of the school is at stake, and because of these allegations. So I'm asking you to do the right thing, the righteous thing. And one more scripture to end this is in Proverbs. In Proverbs chapter 29, the second verse, and it says, when the godly are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in power, the people suffer or groan. So I appeal to you to reach down to the deepest part of your heart and do the righteous thing according to God's word. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. Final public comment, Ms. Rosalinda Boteo.
It's been a long time since I come speak in public.
Good evening,
Hi,
Boteo. Welcome.
my name is Rosalinda Boteo, and I'm a little bit nervous. Bear with me.
That's fine. Go ahead, ma'am.
I just finished retiring May 28th with UISD. I worked at the sheriff's, and this man here knows me very well. I'm here to support the substitute. I just retired, but because I love teaching and I love working with UISD children, I decided to substitute. And it's my joy to substitute. And I'm here to support all substitutes so that you know that I just don't get up and do the job. I do the job because I know that school district needs us. We are the second hand for the teacher. I get calls sometimes and we need help, can you come? Yeah, I'll go. Just give me like an hour, I'll be there. I try to accommodate every school as I can. But because, high prices of gas, the economy, I would really appreciate if you could give us a little bit of a raise. It's not just because of the money. I don't do it for the money. I do it because of the love of the children. And to make a short story, I enjoy working with kids. I worked 25 years in Del Rio School District. I came here to Laredo, and I fell in love with a man here, and God took him from me. Anyway, that's personal. I came to work with the school district. I did 5 years with the LISD, and the rest of the years I finished up here. In total, 33 years I worked with the education system. And I enjoy working with the education system, and I just want you all to take into consideration perhaps, some type of incentive to go along with our jobs, because I will continue to substitute regardless, because I love working with the children. And that's all I got to say. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. All right, so that was the last public comment. That finished agenda item 4. At this time, it's agenda item 6, consent agenda items. Is there a motion for consent agenda items?
Motion for approval.
Second. All right, so clarify it's item A through I. We have motion to approve and a second. Any discussion on any of the items?
Just a quick discussion on item F, the approval of award of guaranteed maximum price for design and construction of replacement school for Clark Elementary.
Sure.
I'm not part of the business committee, but could somebody tell me what that price is? It's going to be this.
Good evening, board members. The recommended amount, that's a guaranteed maximum price. I think if you all move the screen up, please. It's within the language. We're recommending approval of this GMP that got presented to our bond oversight members. You know good?
My computer's not working, that's why.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have that in front of me, but
Let me see. Yeah, it's there. Just click on it. Okay. Or just not working.
It's not working.
I don't have the user ID.
All right, so let me see if I can.
It's there.
All right, so I see a total, Clark, I'm going to recite it real quick. Clark Elementary Replacement Campus, it's a total amount of guaranteed maximum project cost of $19,027,517. That includes a project contingency allowance of $400,000 and architectural, engineering, civil, and traffic study fees. So that's going to be the maximum amount that we'll be at. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
all right. Thank you very much. And just out of curiosity, when do you anticipate this project kicking off? Once it's approved tonight?
You want to talk about
Yes. So once it's approved tonight, we would issue a notice to, an award letter to the vendor so that he can start securing the materials, so to avoid any increases that are going to come in January. We'll work on the contract, and then they'll start, working as soon as possible.
Let me recite real quick another of the forms here. The project schedule says design, development, and construction documents will be completed by February 2022, which is going to be in the next several months. Construction activities to begin April, May 2022, and slated completion by June, July of 23. And that's anticipating opening the campus for August 2023 will be school year 23-24. That's what I'm reciting here from the.
This is because we have people from Clark Elementary here.
Oh,
We're sitting back there and they've been waiting.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm following you, Javi. Before you all move, I have a question also for item number C. Can you fill me in a little bit on that? I know that, for the record, I have the principal, Ms. Ramirez, also, which she wants to make sure that some of the things that are added in that, so that we can clarify, and she wants to put it in record that what we're getting for United South High School.
The bullets in that item refer to renovations and additions at United South High School. I believe it's a new fine arts facility.
Ms. Ramirez, can you come with us up here to the front, please? Ms. Ramirez? We want to double check that we have everything that was included. I think Mr. Rangel can also, you can approach the podium, that way we can more or less have an agreement so we can put it in record.
Yes. A new fine arts facility, a standalone building, where we can find some space on the land, on the site there. We want to work on the vocational building and bring it up to the standards that we needed to be able to handle the electrical equipment that they've been able to get. We also are going to be converting the old band hall, once the students are moved into the new band hall, into classrooms, hopefully to help alleviate. We want to update the the culinary arts area. And trying to think the rest. It was quite a bit of this.
I think
the ag science building and the vocational building.
Yes, and I think if I'm not mistaken, we were going to add restrooms to where the steppers are.
We're going to look into adding the restrooms, sir.
And I think if Ms. Ramirez, we're going to do a little bit of the facelift on the front.
Yes, those projects.
Because
yes,
of the stairs.
The projects that we're going to do, sir, that we feel we can do in-house with maintenance is kind of convert some of the classrooms into a counseling center. I think that was a discussion.
Okay, and I know that we were also going to help to modify or to add some monies also to Alisa Ruiz and United South Middle.
Yes, sir. Those are the next two bullets. And because we put these so that we can go out to competitive seal proposals, we'll be working on that with Ms. Cordy Jackson and her staff. There's renovations at Alisa Ruiz Elementary School that have to do with upgrading some of the bathroom facilities there. And I think there's a science and some science classrooms.
I think the most important thing that we can take from this is that we already setting everything in motion.
Everything in
so I
motion,
think
sir.
that obviously Clark Elementary that we're gonna be voting on right now, that's gonna be, we're starting on that. And then obviously all the projects that we have there in the South Middle School and Alicia Ruiz Elementary. So
how soon can we move on this?
This particular agenda item is just requesting the approval of the procurement method.
Correct.
So we're asking to use competitive seal proposals as a procurement method. Once you approve this, then in the coming months, we're going to bring to you the approval of the consultants that are going to design these, and then we would bid them out and then bring them to you to approve the actual project.
With timelines. So then, Ms. Ramirez, you bring your football team and your cheerleaders, and we'll have a celebration.
Yes, thank you.
thank you very much.
I do have another question of Ms. Benavides. The items that we've been discussing right now, Clark and United South, should there be cost overruns, would you have to go back to the bond committee in case there is a need to finalize this, or
Well,
is this fixed already?
Well, the competitive seal proposals aren't fixed. The GMP is fixed. The Clark Elementary project,
That's
which is
the
the bigger amount, right, will be fixed. It's a GMP. The CSPs, we hope that they are competitive. We will arrange them, whether they'll be individual projects or maybe a package, and hopefully we get some competitive amounts, submitted.
I just want to be clear, because of course this is all bond money.
Right. Well, this is a combination of bond money, and then we do have an item in the rest of the agenda to help us kind of help the bond program. And let me tell you, we've always helped the bond program to complete it and to complete these projects as well. So I think
There is another item? that we do
there
after?
is a financing item that will help us.
Right.
So I second the motion to it.
Right, so we had a motion, we had a second, we did the discussion, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? None opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Clark.
Items for individual consideration, agenda item 7A, approval of donations. Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, sir. This time, it is a recommendation that the Board of Trustees graciously accept the following donations, and this will be attached to the minutes. The following are donations of $1,000 or more. United South High School cheerleaders received donation of $8,000 from the United South High School Cheer Booster Club. United South High School Percussion received donation of $1,380 from the Healthcare Institute. LBJ ninth grade campus CTE department received a donation of 11 engines from Power Motor with a total estimate value of $16,500. The following are donations under 1,000. United ISD Elect Department received a donation of $500 from Legacy Event Partners for the 2021 UISD Golf Tournament. Grand total would be $26,380.
Motion to approve.
Motion, we have a second? Second. Motion a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. All those opposed? None opposed, motion passes. Item 7B, discussion regarding a plan of finance and consideration and approval of a resolution authorizing the issuance of United Independent School District Maintenance Tax Note, Series 2022, entering into a bond purchase agreement and a paying agent registrar agreement, delegating to certain district administrative staff and officials the authority to approve all final terms of the notes and other matters related thereto.
Good evening, yes. Good evening, board members. This evening, administration is recommending to approve the resolution authorizing the issuance of United Independent School District Maintenance Tax Note Series 2022, including entering into a bond purchase agreement and a paying agent registrar agreement, delegating to certain district administrative staff, which would be Mr. Gonzalez and myself, and the other person would be you, Mr. Bellis, that would be allowed to sign off on these orders. We also are asking the authority to approve final terms of the notes and other matters related thereto. The resolution was enclosed and completed by our co-bond counsel. Mr. Dan Martinez is here. He's from the firm Winstead. The amount that we are asking to issue maintenance tax notes is $22,500,000. We've outlined exactly what we feel we need, at least for the next 2 to 3 years, to take care of the various projects we've been talking about. One of the projects is the synthetic turfs at each high school, fixing the irrigation fields at the United South High School athletic fields in that area, and LBJ. We just have a lot of issues with the irrigation there. And several other projects would include the furniture and equipment for the 3 last new schools that would help the bond program. And some of the other issues would be some of the items that you just approved in the competitive seal proposal. There are some items in there that we feel meet the letter of the law to cover with these maintenance tax notes. So that's how we plan to hopefully get these projects funded. Of course, hopefully getting some good prices as they submit. But we do have Mr. Robert Tijerina here. He's our financial advisor. If there's any questions pertaining to this issue.
Right. So this will be within the next 2 to 3 years and will encompass being able to finance and support projects throughout the district. Is that correct?
That's
Not
correct.
Any particular campus.
That's correct.
Different.
And maintenance tax notes, they're, again, we get with our bond counsel, we can equip, repair, rehabilitate, and renovate our existing school facilities. You just cannot make a new building.
Right.
That would have to come from our bonds. So a combination of our bond money, a combination of these maintenance tax notes, we feel we can get the projects that we have been talking about completed and equipped and repaired and renovated.
All right. Mr. Tejerina, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Bellis and board members, Mr. Gonzalez and staff. For the record, Robert Tijerina with Tijerina Galvan Lawrence for the school district financial advisor. And quickly, the plan of finance to move forward with the maintenance tax notes, Ms. Benavides described it perfectly. We cannot add any kind of a slab to an existing building, build new projects, add a new floor. All of this is just renovating, improving existing facilities. So again, what we're proposing here is issuing 22 million maintenance tax notes. We're estimating a 20-year payout, an interest rate of about 3.85%, assuming interest rates kind of go up here in the next couple of months. But if we're in the market today, it'd be closer to 3.3%. Average annual payment is about $1.6 million, beginning fiscal year ending 2023. So again, that won't occur until February. The first payment will be February of 2023, followed by August of 2023. And again, the timetable of this item is approved. We have rating calls with Ms. Benavides, Mr. Flores, January the 19th, price the bonds on February the 10th, and close the financing on March the 10th. And when I say close, that's when the district will receive the funds, estimated $22 million. And the financing team, we have issuer, United Independent School District, financial advisor, co-bond counsels, paying agent, underwriters, as discussed with your staff, Mr. Flores and Ms. Benavides. And again, if there's any questions for myself or for Mr. Dan Martinez.
Not at the moment, Mr. Teglia. We appreciate your presence here. Also,
Thank you.
In making the trip out. So obviously, you would say it's a right time, considering interest rates, to be able to go right now and then proceed with the projects.
Yes, sir. Interest rates are low right now. Omicron actually caused the rates environment to go down sometime about a week and a half before Thanksgiving. We all know in the future next year, Fed has already said there's potential 2 to 3 rate increases in calendar year 22, possibly 3 to 4 in 2024. Again, that's in the future. But right now, rates are low, and it's the best time to move forward with this particular financing. And again, you're borrowing money that only requires board approval.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
We have a motion regarding plan of finance as
So
presented.
moved. Second.
Motion a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. All right. Item 7C, consideration approval resolution declaring intention to reimburse certain expenditures. Mr. Benavides.
Thank you, Mr. Veliz. We're bringing this certificate of, resolution declaring intention to reimburse certain expenditures. So our intention is to, we've started ordering the furniture and equipment for Molina Middle. And so we want to start using these types of funds, the maintenance tax notes, to equip that building, and that will free up money for our bond construction program, right? So this reimbursement allows you to, once you issue, you can go back 60 days from the date of issuance. So we could start covering some of those furniture and equipment orders that we put in for Molina Middle. This is what this allows. So we can go back, let's say we would issue, on the timeline, we could go back 60 days and get reimbursed from issuing those purchase orders, yes.
All right. Is there a motion regarding the resolution as presented?
So moved. Second.
Motion a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed. Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Item 7D, approval of updated tabulation for RFP 042-2021 to Milk and Juice that includes adjusted costs due to third-party extraordinary changes, inflationary costs. This RFP was approved on September 15, 2021 at the regular board meeting. So we did an adjustment, is that?
It's an adjustment to the tabulation. We've met with the vendor who's had the price increases started shortly after we awarded the contract in September, and they've kind of been eating the cost. And it's gotten to the point with the fuel and the actual containers that they have to purchase where they need an adjustment. The adjustment ranges between 2 to 6% depending on whether it's milk or juice or yogurt. And so at this time, staff agreed with the findings of the vendor, and the co-ops have also agreed to increase their costs. So we're just asking you all to.
They sent a pretty detailed explanation on the breakdown. So I know I saw it earlier. So
Mr.
really
President,
at this point,
on this item that we're talking, which one is it? It's item what?
7D.
7B?
D. D as in David.
That's on the approval of the update of tabulations?
Yes.
And for item B, the discussion of regarding the plan for the finance considerers approval. I know that we approved it, but can I amend my motion on that one?
No, we already went through that one. You would have to bring it back at a later. Is that correct, Mr. Cruz? Since we already went through the motion, we already did an actual vote on it.
You would have to go ahead and make a motion to rescind the B. Is that the one you're talking about? Item B?
7B.
Yeah, you would have to make a motion to rescind your prior vote and bring it back to the table for consideration.
Yeah, we would need.
I make a motion to rescind it. and hear it for the next board meeting.
Okay, so bring it back to the next meeting?
Next meeting, yes.
Okay, so can we add that to, just as in-between items, or?
There's Robert and,
For
Okay,
discussion
well,
right now?
you know what, I'll just wait and let's discuss it under executive session, and then we'll talk about it over.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right, so back to this one right here. So we're 7D, the tabulation, so you're mentioning between 2 to 6% of
2
the
to
approved
6%
amount.
depending on the item.
Right. All right, so do we have motion regarding the updated tabulation?
So move. Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7E, discussion and possible action to adjust the perfect attendance exception program for district bus drivers, bus monitors, and specific food services personnel. Mr. Garcia, good evening.
Thank you. Mr. Veliz, members of the board, Mr. Gonzalez, ladies and gentlemen, this particular item, the administration is recommending that the United ISD Board of Trustees consider an exception to the perfect attendance program for bus drivers, bus monitors, and other specific food service personnel who choose to take leave on the dates of the 20th and 21st of this month. What happened recently, of course, the calendar was changed, of course, to allow staff to work remotely from home. And of course, employees that fall within this category and their perfect attendance, if they choose to be absent during those days, it was going to conflict with the present adopted guidelines by the board. This particular administrative recommendation is simply to request an exception that if they choose to be out on the 20th and 21st, that it not count against them. Right now, the perfect attendance allows individuals to be out for jury duty, military service, and of course, other items to include to take 5 personal days, and it wouldn't count against them. Due to the fact that the calendar changed, so we're asking for an exception for those 2 days and not to hurt our employees.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. I will just, little bit of discussion. I think it's a great idea, Mr. Garcia. We do have a lot of employees that adhere to this program.
Absolutely.
So,
And of course, for them financially, it's $300 per semester, a total of $600 per year.
all right. Okay. Thank you very much. So, any other further discussion? Sorry. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All those opposed? None opposed. Motion passes. Thank you, sir. Item 7F, discussion and possible action to retain and enter legal service contract with General Legal Counsel.
Yes, sir, members of the board. It is a recommendation of administration that the district retain and enter into a legal service contract with Trauman and Garcia Attorney at Law, PLLC, for the General Legal Counsel service. For the past 3 months, Mr. Trauman and Mr. Garcia managed the district legal affairs and both the district administration, and we are covered with both Mr. Trauman and Mr. Garcia and their legal expertise. I have actually worked with both gentlemen, Mr. Trauman for the last 10 years, Mr. Garcia for the last 5. Together they have nearly 16 years of combined experience in school law, and I find them to be trustworthy, competent, and professional. Not only are they UIZ products, but they're also were inducted into District League of Legends 2018. For this reason, my recommendation is to retain and enter into legal contract for General Legal Counsel services with Trauman and Garcia Attorneys at Law. In addition, I am recommending the district retain and enter into legal service contract with Castillo Reyes and Del Rio for all special education legal matters.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Motion and second.
Can I, discussion?
Discussion, more discussion. Go ahead, Mr. Garcia.
What are you recommending, Mr. Gonzalez, again? What specifically? Mr. Gonzalez?
Sir?
Yes. You're recommending, what is your recommendation? Once again.
You read the recommendation.
Yeah, it's hard for me to hear what you're saying.
From what I understand, you're recommending 2 law firms. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Trauman and Garcia Attorney at Law for General Legal Counsel services and for service in special education, Castillo Reyes and Del Rio.
And then for the record, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I guess I was going to get to the point, the reason being. What is the reason? I know that you sponsored this item. You sponsored this item, and Mr. Veliz, you sponsored the item. Can we get the reasons why?
It's just adding legal service team to our district.
Adding?
Yes, sir.
So we're still going to retain Mr. Cruz?
Of course.
Yeah, and that was going to be my comment.
Go ahead.
Yes.
That's
Mr. Veliz, can I address the board?
Go ahead, Mr.
Thank you very much for providing me an opportunity to provide some comments regarding this item. First and foremost, I would like to give special thanks to my very good friends who are here tonight as personal support to me during this most difficult time in my life. Many have known me before I was an attorney, and one in particular met me as a teacher at Clark Elementary back in 1991. From the bottom of my heart, you are my rock, and I could not be here without your support. To the misled individuals that showed up today to make public comment against me, as much as I do not know anything about you, you also have no idea who I am. You have read a piece of paper and perhaps received information that some people with devious intentions to form conclusions about me without ever having the chance to even get to know me or hear my truth. I do want to say that no administrator today should be verbally attacked or accosted at a community event. All administrators at this district treat people with dignity and respect, and they should be given the same deference. I have always stated to district administrators in our yearly legal training that they should treat others the way they'd like to be treated, which is why at UISD we have never imposed an adverse employment action on an individual without an investigation. I want to be clear that I do welcome any investigation by a third party or via the discovery process in court. This much I know, the thicket of lies against me cannot be proven true. The claims against me and my law firm are without merit. I'm very confident that the court process will vindicate me and my law firm. There are countless lawsuits that are filed in court on a daily basis. In the US, we are taught to reserve judgment and let the matter go through the court process. I should be given the same right as everyone else in this community as appropriate due process instead of believed allegations that have yet to be proven true, yet because they're written in a petition they're thought to be true. As the board chooses a new general counsel tonight, I'd like to give special thanks to many board members that I've had the pleasure of working with for over 20 years as I've represented UISD. I'm proud that even after some board members got off the board, we remained friends because I always treated everyone with dignity and respect. The 3 board members that are no longer with us, who I do remember fondly, are Hector Rodriguez, my classmate from high school, Juan Molina, and the late Bill Johnson, who words to me about representing the district I always held close to heart, which were, do not tell me what I want to hear, give us advice that is going to keep us out of trouble. I wish this district a good working relationship with whichever firm you end up with as sitting in this chair and doing the work Monday through Sunday as I have done, which is no easy task. Dealing with UISD is not only showing up to a board meeting, it is actually doing the homework behind the scenes to be knowledgeable about the latest trends in education law, such as the topics I presented yesterday at the Education Service Center in Corpus Christi on the critical race theory, the legal issues of pulling books from school libraries, and the SBEC rules on abandonment of contract that were passed by the SBEC board last Friday, December 10th. If people feel that this job is an easy one, that is because they have not done it and do not understand the scope that it takes to not only keep the client informed of the present legal issues, but also to remain ahead of the state and nationwide cutting-edge education law statutes, regulations, and cases to help the district avoid litigation. It is very easy to criticize a lawyer or law firm when there's a complete lack of understanding of the subject matter my group of lawyers deals with on a daily basis. And I want to be clear, this job is not done by one person. It takes a team of lawyers to be able to deliver high-quality legal services to the largest employer in our area with an array of legal issues. In conclusion, I wish this district the very best and thank everyone that I have met along the way for your support and friendship. God bless you.
I did want to mention one other thing. I don't know if I heard your reasons for sponsoring this item, Mr. Vélez. I don't know if it's the same as Mr. Gonzalez. He just wants to get it done. I do want to say to the public that we do need to understand that there is due process for everybody. Everybody deserves to be heard. And so I rest on the on the rest, on the shoulders of the rest of the board members, whatever they want to proceed, I'm okay. Thank you.
I just gotta add, I worked with Juan since I've been here, 2010, and together we handled over 100 frivolous claims that were filed by the same individual that filed the one against him. And if it's a pattern of anything, if anything's been seen as that, you know, it's just malicious. And every single individual that came in here and spoke about that, spoke about one, all had some type of previous relationship where they were either, you know, disgruntled, denied, their grievances were denied, either their wife or them themselves were denied because of the legal work that Mr. Cruz had performed. I find it hard to swallow that when there is no law enforcement agency that has ever investigated these claims, when there is no criminal indictment, when there is no criminal investigation pending, that any person can come in and file a lawsuit and allege all sorts of allegations against something like Mr. Cruz. It could happen to any of us. I find it really hard to swallow that it gets us to a point now where we're going to terminate a 20-year relationship. I understand the concerns, but this is not a UISD issue. This didn't happen on UISD premises. Mr. Cruz is not somebody that ever even goes to the campuses, ever attends any of the functions for UISD other than the board meetings. And so I rest on that. I think the board, through Mr. Gonzalez, perhaps wants to go a different direction. I recognize that. But Juan, you know, I applaud the work that you've done. You've represented this board and this school district in, you know, with all honor and respect. So, you know, I'll rest on that. So.
If I just may say that, just for the record, you know, we are giving Mr. Cruz his day in court. We're not here, you know, stamping him guilty, because everybody deserves due process. We have to listen to both sides. We always have to listen to the pros and the cons. What we cannot do is silence people. And that is what I am against, silencing people. So I'm against that letter that went out. But Mr. Cruz's contract, from what I understand, it's not being terminated.
Correct.
We are just adding counsel.
That's correct. All right, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So that's,
Aye.
Aye.
That's 34. Mr. Montemayor?
Just for clarification, what's the motion is to hire Castillo and Reyes for special education?
Special education and general legal would be for Troutman and Garcia.
Troutman and Garcia.
Right. All right, so all those opposed? None opposed, motion passes. Item 7G, approval of addressing public comments not be limited to current agenda items. This is an agenda item that was
Sponsored by me.
introduced,
Yes.
sponsored by Ms.
Yes.
Alisa. Do you want to say a few
Yeah,
words?
only that, you know, I have no, I believe, you know, Mr. De La Vina came and he kind of pointed at me as well, and so I kind of felt guilty. And I said, you know what, I've been in the audience myself, and I am a Webb County employee, and I've been in the audience, and a lot of times I want to get up and say something as a constituent, and maybe there's not an agenda item that allows me to do so. And you are correct, sir, we do have what it takes to control anything that gets out of hand. We have security, and we have certain safeguards that are in place that I'm not threatened by this in any way, and it is their right. Like I said earlier, a taxpayer has the right to come in here and disagree with us. They have a right to come in here and tell us they don't like us and they want to replace us. That is their right. They don't have the right to come in here and disrespect us. But that being said, we cannot censor anyone. And for that reason, I've sponsored this item. Thank you, Mr. De La Vina.
Thank Thank you, ma'am. Would that be a motion from you?
Yes, that's a motion, yes.
Motion second for
Second.
discussion.
Discussion.
On this item, I think we've been approached before in the past. We were approached recently again, and I supported it. You know, I'm about transparency, you know, everything on top of the table, you know, it doesn't work any other way. We're a government entity, we represent taxpayers. This is not about us. If they have a grievance to come and air, you know, they certainly can use this forum to come and do it, whether it's on the agenda or not. It would be better, I will say this, if it is on the agenda, so I can at least prepare, or I can at least know, you know, what to comment. I can know how to respond if need be, but nevertheless, you know, it's open government, and so that's why I supported this, and so that's.
I do have a comment. So we stand here for you, and we don't take kindly to people attacking our district employees. I don't, particularly if they're personal. And so that should be addressed appropriately at that time. No one stops anyone from making comments. It's a right. We enjoy it. We like to hear the diverse comments. But never let it be said that we'll tolerate personal attacks, confrontations when employees are in place. I will support the employees because they deserve respect. And I'll say additionally, as employees that you are in the school district, you also need to speak up at that moment and take actions that protect you. If you need to do it, do it. And you need to also be careful, even as we speak among each other, that we address things professionally and in a way that does not attack a person that shouldn't be attacked. Because as employees, you are in many ways subservient to what we want you to do. And so I want to make sure that my colleagues understand no one's being censored. What they're doing is reminded of etiquette and professionalism that should be displayed when speaking before us. That's all. Thank you.
I agree with you, Castillo, but time before, they put this item because they would come and disrespect people, and it got out of hand, and that's why it's there. You know, you all want to take it out, fine, but they had a controller where we could have, you know, be respected, and we weren't getting respected. That's why that item came about. It's not there because it's just there because they want to. It was there for a reason, and I think if you see anything wrong with it, I don't see anything wrong with it. You know, asking for respect, asking for, you know, everything. So you all want to change it, fine, but I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, and if I could say, I mean, we do, like I said, we have been attacked, and Mr. Cruz is here, and what Mr. Montemayor referred to, that, I don't want to say anything that's going to get me in trouble, but we have been attacked here, and I've seen our security escort people out of here. Right. So you're correct. You know that this is a government. It's not like if there was an emergency right now. We have security. We have Chief Garner here. We have the built-in security to protect us from getting out of hand. If somebody says something I don't like, I have to be careful when I judge that. Is that them attacking me, or is that them freely expressing their opinion of me? If they tell me something I seriously don't like and it goes to my gut, I signed up for this job. Nobody signed up for me. I have to take it. So that's the difference between being censored and attacked. Attacked is when somebody's, and we've been there. We went through that. We have security for that. But not liking what they say, that's a different story.
Thank you, Ma'am.
We had good years of it before. We had people escorted all the time. Mr. Lavinia was here, and he could have, you know, the people that were bitches, they weren't just attacking, they were bitches. And that's why, like I said, I repeat, this item was there to protect us. This is a good board right now, and we haven't had any problems for a while. But before, it used to be pretty bad. You know, they would come and everything coming down. But still, they left that because for a reason, just to protect the board, in other words.
But, and not only that, I
We're not-
agree.
we're not
We need to
necessarily-
also make sure that our staff is protected. We can't just sit here and say, well, it's their problem. No, we
No,
have to
no.
take care of it.
Right.
So I stand with the staff, especially when they're making those comments. And
Yeah,
so
we're trying to
you're
censor-
confrontational, no, it's
We're
not
just
gonna
trying
work
to
here.
censor attack, not censor the people or the comments. Just the way they comment with respect to everybody, that's it.
Right. All right, so that's discussion. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed, motion passes. Item 7H, approval request of board members in reference to use of Board of Trustees discretionary funds for various campuses and departments. Mr. Garza?
Yes, Mr. Vélez, members of the board, Mr. Gonzalez, members of the audience, I'm presenting, in addition to your information in your packets that have already previously been submitted through the committees, I had two additional requests for the record. Arndt Elementary School, Ms. Juanita Cepeda, requester, sponsored by Mr. Ricardo Molina, Sr. It's a recognition of student pre-K through 6th grade on perfect attendance during their lunch hour at Peter Piper's Pizza for 4th, 6th, and 5th 6 weeks for a total of $3,000. And then the last item is for United South High School, Ms. Ariana Ramirez, requester, sponsored by Mr. Ricardo Rick Rodriguez, Mr. Juan Roberto Ramirez, Ms. Alisa Oliveros, Mr. Vélez, Ramiro Vélez, Javier Montemayor, Francisco Castillo, and Ricardo Molina. So basically, everybody sponsored this item. It is for United High School varsity football team incentives and lunch for the amount of $4,512.63.
Thank you, sir. Is there a motion to include the last two that were
So moved.
added in?
Second.
Motion a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed, motion passes. With that, we'll move to agenda item 8, closed session. Time is now 7:28 p.m. The board will adjourn to closed session pursuant to sections 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074 of the Texas Government Code to discuss agenda items 8A to 8C. We'll be back in approximately 30 minutes.
I look for you.
All right, time is 8:37. We're reconvening for closed session. The board will take appropriate action on items if necessary as discussed in closed session.
Yes, Mr. President, I'm trying to bring item B back.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, so,
Make a motion to recall item 7B.
all right, so we have motion to recall item 7B. Council, we are looking to rescind, is that the?
Yes, we would need a motion to rescind item 7B since it's already passed, and per Robert's Rules of Order, that requires a 2/3 majority vote, so we will need to vote on the rescission.
Make a call?
Yeah,
I vote second.
right,
let's
so-
just recall it and then I'll make a
Okay.
motion to rescind.
All right, so item 7B being recalled, it's a motion, there's a second to recall 7B. All those in favor to recall 7B as an item to be discussed? Aye.
Now, based on, I'd like to make a motion to rescind the earlier vote on item 7B.
All right, so it's a motion to rescind by Mr. Montemayor, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rodriguez. All right, any discussion on that motion? All right, so all those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Unopposed, motion passes, so.
I'd like to
item
make a
B,
motion for
7B.
item 7B.
Go ahead.
I move to modify and approve discussion regarding a plan of finance and consideration and approval of a resolution authorizing the issuance of United Independent School District Maintenance Tax Notes, Series 2022, entering into a bond purchase agreement and a paying agent register agreement, delegating to certain district administrative staff and officials the authority to approve all final terms of the notes and other matters related thereto as presented by modified co-bond to be named Winstead PC and law firm of Castillo, Reyes, and Del Rio.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 All those opposed? None opposed? Motion 7B passes. We'll move on to the agenda item 9A. Possible action with respect to the execution of purchase sale agreement regarding the acquisition of a tract of land of approximately 10.77 acres out of a 53.40 tract of land, which itself is out of a tract of land described in the deed recorded in volume 1089, pages 586, 587, the records, Webb County, Texas. So are we going to do any action on that item, Mr. Ball?
Yes, the recommendation was to continue with the contract negotiation.
All right, so we have a
Make a motion.
recommendation.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed, motion passes. Item 9B, possible action with respect to the possible execution of a purchase and sale agreement regarding the possible acquisition of one of the following described properties. And we have 4 properties described there. Mr. Valls, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, with respect to the 12-acre tract of land north of Hook'em Horns, the recommendation was to take no action.
All right.
Make a motion.
Second.
All right, so we have recommendation, we have a motion second. Any further discussion on that one? All those in favor for no action?
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed, motion passes, no action on that one.
With respect to approximate 12-acre tract east of Bob Bullock Loop and south of East Del Mar Boulevard, the recommendation was to take no action.
So moved.
Recommendation,
Second.
motion a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor for no
Aye.
action?
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed, motion passes for no action on that one. Mr. Balls?
With respect to an approximate 12-acre tract on the north side of Clark Boulevard, east of Chacon Creek, and west of Bob Bullock Loop, and west of the Walmart Supercenter, the recommendation was to initiate contract negotiations.
So move.
Recommendation, a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed, motion passes.
With respect to an approximately 11.8-acre tract at the intersection of Cheyenne Drive and Durrell Drive, north of Highway 359 and west of Bob Bullock, the recommendation was to take no action.
We have a recommendation.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
And a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye for no action.
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed, motion passes for no action. Item 9C, possible action with respect to schematic from AEC Engineering LLC facilitating access to a portion of Santa Monica Street pertaining to the real property adjoining the UISD student activity center, with such properties being south of Santa Claudia Street on UISD property and east of Santa Monica Street on UISD property.
Yes, the recommendation was to provide no objection to the effort of AEC Engineering and the landowner to present a schematic and a proposition to the city of Laredo with respect to a larger agreement between the United Independent School District and the landowner with respect to the replatting of a section of Santa Monica Boulevard.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? None opposed. Motion passes. Item 9D, approve resolution adopting one-time employee retention payment for all currently active part-time district employees of the 2021-2022 school year.
I make a motion,
Second.
a motion to adopt a one-time employee retention payment for eligible part-time district employees through the 2021-2022 school year in the amount of $375.
Motion by Mr. Castillo.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed. Motion passes. And with that, it's item 10, adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
At this time, on behalf of the students and employees of UISD, I'd like to wish all the board members and everybody here a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I also like to extend a very happy birthday who's coming up for our newest board members, Frank Castillo. Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays.
By the way, Ms. Oliveros, I understand that your birthday is also coming up very soon.